Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have a Marvel Legends figure. It's a Walgreens exclusive from the Fantastic Four kind of Walgreens exclusive series, you can almost say. It's The Thing. So this is the one that really caught my eye. I mean, all the Fantastic Four figures I've at one point or another have seen at Walgreens, and they've always interested me. I always pick them up and look at them, but I've never actually purchased one before, and I wasn't necessarily planning to purchase this one. It wasn't really even on my radar. Like, I noticed it, I made a video, of course, on it when they first showed it, but it wasn't something that I was like super into, you know. I like the Fantastic Four, but, you know, do I really need to go buy all the exclusives with no Build-A-Figure? I was kind of like, it's maybe not worth it. However, seeing this in person, it really impressed me, and I couldn't resist to pick it up. So we have Fantastic Four, Marvel The Thing, and then on the sides there you have nice artwork of the character, and then just a nice artwork of him on the back. It'd be cool if at the bottom they just showed some of the other ones from the Walgreens exclusive series, being the other Fantastic Four members. But yeah, overall, definitely picked up the figure because it's massive, it's impressive, you get a lot with it. It's basically you're just buying a Build-A-Figure essentially. If this was like a Build-A-Figure of a wave, I wouldn't be surprised. It's about this, you know, same size as a normal Build-A-Figure, especially with the accessories that it comes with. So I feel like this would be a solid Build-A-Figure for a wave, you know, and how could I resist if I don't have to buy the pieces to get something that's of Build-A-Figure quality, essentially? So that's what really piqued my interest here. Going over the actual figure here, it's quite nice. It's a completely new sculpt, as you can see. All the detail work on the rock section is all 100% sculpted, which is really wonderful. And it's not like subtly sculpted where it's just like you have some small lines in it. It is actually like severely sculpted. Like there's quite a big difference between the cracks and the top of the rocks. There's like a heavy difference there, which is quite nice. The pants are very very clean. I do like the wrinkles in them. The wrinkles help a lot, but they are a very clean look. It reminds me a lot of Abomination. Abomination has tremendous detail on everything except for his pants, which are just like really clean and really soft. So it's just kind of weird to see that big difference. I will say that it doesn't look as drastically different on the Thing that it did on Abomination. On Abomination just looks like really different. This one, he has enough wrinkles on the pants that it kind of fits in a little bit more, and you get some natural shadowing, so it kind of fits in with the rest of the design. But yeah, the great detail on the rock extends to the legs, of course, too. And then I do like the fact that they've kind of like washed in a black or a dark gray in all the crevices of the rocks. I think that does look really nice and it really adds depth. They went a little too heavy-handed on this thigh here, and you know, some of that detail didn't quite make it in the cracks, and it kind of got onto the actual rocks themselves, which looks really odd. But overall, the whole thing looks a little messy, like it should. So having that little splotch there on the thigh doesn't look as bad as it maybe would have had the rest of it not been, you know, kind of naturalistic looking. You know, it might have looked a little worse, but I think overall it does work pretty nicely. As far as his articulation, it's quite good. He's got a ball hinge neck, which can look up decent amount and can look down into the sides, of course. He has ball hinge shoulders. He has a hinge swivel at the elbow, so no bicep swivel, but it's a hinge swivel at the elbow. And the hinge itself goes about 90 degrees, almost like a complete turn. And then the swivel isn't very hindered, which is nice. He has ball hinge wrists, and the hinges on the wrist go really deep, so you do get a nice range on the wrist there. For how bulky he is, he has a pretty decent range. As far as the torso is concerned, you can kind of swivel at the ball joint upper torso, but it mainly just has like a click down and a click up, essentially. So, you know, decent range, nothing like spectacular, but nothing bad. He has a swivel at the waist, which is kind of like ratcheted or soft ratcheted. He has ball hinge hips, which can go up like a full 90 degrees. They can go out very far, as you can see. You get a nice split there. Then he has a swivel right at the cut of the pants on the thigh. Double hinge knees, which can go about this far, which is quite nice. And then hinge pivoting ankles, which do pivot really nicely as well. So overall, he's very bulky, but he does have a good range to him. He really does. He does come with some extra accessories. He has interchangeable hands for just kind of open, kind of expressive ones, which look really cool. You can have him holding the heads of people that he's fighting or something, you know. You can do a lot with this, or it can just be like a holding out his hand as he like cocks back to punch, you know, something like that, of course. So there's a lot that you can do with those hands. I do like them. I like the expressive nature, and the hinges on the hands work just as well on the open ones as they do on the fist ones. And then he comes with an extra head sculpt, which is like a moderately, like the original head sculpt's a little bit more calm, and then this one is like a little angry. I wish that there was a bigger difference between the two, because his eyebrows are like essentially the same. It's just that his mouth is slightly opened on the other one. I wish that they went with this one and then they just made this like even more extreme. The mouth wasn't just open enough to see his teeth. Maybe the mouth was like really open, like he's yelling. That would have been more worth it. Considering, like, honestly, I certainly like that we get two head sculpts, but I don't think it's 100% necessary, because they're, you know, very similar to each other. It's almost like the head sculpts between Ego from the Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord and Ego 2-pack. Ego came with two head sculpts, and it's nice to have two head sculpts. It's just they weren't different enough to really be warranted. I feel the same kind of way here. Wish that they went with something more extreme for this head sculpt, I must admit. But overall, I do still really like it, and it does allow you to get a little bit more expression and more of a dynamic sense when you have him in a dynamic pose. So I do like that. His articulation is good enough that you can get him to kind of be like punching the ground and have it look pretty well, you know, and pretty natural. So let's get like a ground punching shot. You can see that. As you can see, he can punch the ground pretty nicely, and he can be looking up for it too. I mean, overall, just that's quite a nice range for a bulky figure. The majority of your Marvel Legends figures can kind of do this pose, but to have a bulky one be able to do it and do it really well like this is quite nice. So overall, I actually really do like this figure. I think it's an excellent. I mean, this would be a nice build-a-figure. So to have it be just a standard figure makes this a really excellent figure, I must say. To just be able to buy this for $20, you know, this is definitely more quality than you usually get for a standard release figure. So I'm very happy with it. As far as his size, he is quite big. I'd love to compare him with the other Fantastic Four members, but like I mentioned, I don't have the other members, considering they didn't interest me enough to purchase them. And again, wasn't planning on getting this one. It's just because it was so impressive looking that I did pick it up. But just to give you a little comparison, here he is with a normal figure like, let's do Storm. As you can see him with Storm, he's quite a bit taller than her, and then his real, the most of the bulk comes from the actual just bulk of the muscles and body and everything. And then here he is with a Build-A-Figure. This is Apocalypse. So as you can see, he's a little shorter than Apocalypse, which is, I would say, that's in scale. The Thing isn't supposed to be super tall, but he's supposed to be really bulky, and that's what this figure represents. So although he's a little bit shorter than Apocalypse, he's bulkier than Apocalypse in all aspects. The legs, the arms, and the torso are all bulkier than Apocalypse. So you get just about the same amount with these two, especially when you include the fact that the Thing comes with an interchangeable head and two interchangeable hands. So Apocalypse doesn't come with any accessories, so you get just as much with this new version. Plus the detail on the actual sculpt is a lot more intense too, so I definitely think that you get more with the Thing than you do with Apocalypse. And one's a standard release, one's a Build-A-Figure, so that is quite impressive. I would have preferred just a full-out Fantastic Four wave. I think that would have been really cool, and that would have definitely made me buy the figures. And they probably would have just had the Thing be a Build-A-Figure in the wave, and I would have been totally happy with that. So it's just kind of, it's an interesting fact that they decided to kind of break it up and just make it an exclusive series. My only issue with that is that although we got the main Fantastic Four, we really don't get any villains, which is a shame. But you know, you can get the Fantastic Four, the mains, assortment of them, as well as Silver Surfer. They are doing that as well. So I do have a Doctor Doom already, but it would be really cool to get a new Doctor Doom, a more modern version, and then maybe some of the other characters. Skrulls, they're a big part of the Fantastic Four universe, so I'd love to see the Skrulls. There's a ton of really fun Fantastic Four characters that don't get a whole lot of love that I would certainly like to see in a Marvel Legends scale. But yeah, there you go. That's my review of the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Fantastic Four Thing. Let me know what you guys think of them, and thanks so much for watching.